You are one of a kind, wonderful.
You are one of a kind, magnificent.
Thank you for being here.
Becoming happier and healthier with us.
Let us remind you something.
Your body is the channel for unlimited, super powerful energy.
You are a super powerful being.
You know what?
What?
This is the best moment of your life.
And you know why?
Why?
Because your life is happening right here, right now.
There isn't any other moment than now.
Let's feel as if we had accomplished all that we dreamed of.
You have already made it.
You are focused and present.
Strengthening your body and your mind with us.
Let's be aware of our power.
Let's get even stronger and healthier now.
Let's do this together.
And
And
so
so
it
it
is.
is. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hour to Empower. We're here to help you live your best version and your best life every day. If you're liking this show, you can find us on Facebook. Just go to Facebook, the Hour to Empower. You'll find the live videos and all the links to all the conversations that we have here during the show. Also, feel free to reach out to me if you want to ask me anything or share any thoughts privately. Send me an email, onehourtoempower@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Instagram, @energia, So today, I have a very special guest with me. I think we're going to feel grounded today. We're going to connect with something very special. I don't know where it's going to take us, but I'm sure you're going to feel something very special today. A very dear person for me, someone who I've seen evolve throughout our youth until today, where I can proudly say that he's one of the best psychologists, psychotherapists, experts in meditation in this country, and someone who has done huge work to grow, to become the best that he could be, and to share this with everybody. I want to say a person who is really focused on the person in front of him, and this is not easy to find. This is why I value him so much, this feeling of being with someone who sees you, right? So welcome, Luis and Simón.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being
here. It's a great
here.
pleasure. Yeah. To share with you, to be with us. Thank you very much.
This is a very special moment for us, isn't it? This is a conversation. We've talked about so many things throughout our lives.
Mm-hmm.
We've had these very long nights together, haven't we?
Mm-hmm. Nights and days.
Nights and days. And but I think that because you bring so much peace, I feel that that's for me at least, your greatest gift is that whenever I'm with you, I feel this inner peace somehow blossom. So I hope that you, listener, can enjoy this inner peace as well. Luis, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, quite nervous. No, not so nervous, just excited. That's
You're
the right.
excited.
Yeah, excited to be here to share. It's special to talk with you, with the people, and I'm very happy that you talked about the presence. I call it the presence of being with someone else. No,
Mm-hmm.
when you're focused, not in a small way, but in a very big way, to be aware
Mm-hmm.
of someone else.
To be aware of someone
Mm-hmm.
else, I
Mm-hmm.
like that.
It's so beautiful, isn't it?
It's not so easy to understand until you understand it.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Being aware of someone else. People are normally not aware of someone else.
That's it. And it's much more difficult not to be aware than to be aware.
Uh-huh. Oh, wow. Okay, here we go. See, this is a problem with Luis is we always get into the real conversation. We get deep quickly. That's why I feel so much peace, I guess, because you disconnect me of any superficial stuff. So this is very powerful. So being aware is easier than not being aware.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you understand this? How does someone connect with that?
I don't think we will begin by understanding it. We will begin by experiencing it.
Okay.
And then we will understand.
Right. So who's the person who will need to learn how to be aware?
I don't think anybody needs to learn to be aware, although everybody has to work on our own resource, we already know how to be aware. Like if you see
But what I mean is, like, what is the typical person who you think, oh, he's not being aware and he needs to connect with this being aware? Who would be the kind of person that comes to your mind as an example?
Myself, everybody I know.
Everybody.
We lost track of the present moment.
Okay, so being aware has to do with being in the present moment?
Let me give you an example. I'm thinking my nephews, small kids. I've seen them grown. You've also seen them growing, and I was really amazed in how they were at the present moment. I remember taking them to the garden, and just how they focused on the light shining in the leaves of a tree, and they could stare aware and then go to the next stimulus. And it's so simple, so into us.
So being in the present, could you describe that?
Being in the present. Let me change from a noun to a verb.
Okay.
Presence.
Like that. Presence.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's a
Yeah.
verb. You listeners tell me. But I much more prefer presence, because present is like something close. That it's like making a picture with the phone. Presence, it's like an action. No, you are continuously not searching, but receiving presence.
Receiving presence. I hadn't heard that before. I like that. Receiving presence. So, can you give us an example of that? In a practical...
For example, in my practice as a clinical psychologist, when someone comes, I open my heart to listen to whatever the person is bringing. Even if it's a problem, maybe it's a goal, maybe it's a suffering, maybe it's an anxiety, and I receive it. Not just receive the complaint, but also receive the resources the person is bringing. You put your ears, you put your belly, you put your heart to listen.
Yes, your full body is present.
Yep.
Yes. So, when I hear you, I'm trying to think of what listeners could be thinking. So, of course, you're a therapist, so in your case, and I identify with that feeling very much from a coach perspective as well. My ritual before any session is always with a 10-minute meditation to ground myself, to disconnect from wherever I was before, and be connected with my inner self so that I can then be fully present when the other person comes in. But I feel that, when you say this or I say this, people will say, well, of course, your job is to listen to other people, so you need to be present. But what I've learned is that this being present is important for every single person in every aspect of your life. It's not just for a therapist or a coach or a listener or a priest who listens to...
Totally, yeah.
How does it change a person's life to be present in every moment?
How does it change? Can you repeat?
A person's life to be present.
You live your life.
You live your life. Oh my God.
And if you, and if it's amazing.
This is like, it sounds, see, here's the thing. I feel that presence is something that people hear and they don't make it as important as it actually is. Because if you make presence a priority, you live your life.
Yeah. And as I was telling you...
I don't have Twitter, but if I had, this would be like the tweet of the conversation. When you're present, you live your life.
Yeah.
Love it. That's it.
It's as easy, and sometimes it's difficult, sometimes it's extremely beautiful. It's your life, but you are living it. You are not complaining about life. And if you see it from the gratefulness perspective, which I love gratefulness, for me, presence is gratefulness.
Gratefulness is gratitude.
Gratitude, yeah. If you see it from that perspective, you are receiving the present you have, which is your life. That's the very first. And
again? So when
you are present, when you allow yourself to be present, you are receiving life. You are receiving the best present you have, which is your own life.
Yes. So, you're a psychologist. You're an expert in working with people who are not living their lives, but they're living their heads.
Well, maybe patients are more living their lives. I mean, the patients normally are the ones who are confronting their own problems, which is being present. No,
Nice. Yes. Okay.
When you find you have a problem and you want to confront it, you search for help. I mean, that's a present step.
Yes. I agree. Very nice. This is so real. Many people don't even see what's going on, and the fact alone that a person knows that something is wrong is acknowledging a presence.
Yes.
In your case, working with patients, you do a very special kind of therapy, right? Can you tell us a little bit of what it is that you do?
Yeah. Oh, let me think. What can I tell? It's a very it's a very simple and complex.
Well, what I mean is, you have an approach that, for me, is very special. If I had to recommend a therapist to anybody listening who would say, you know what, actually, I'm also stuck and I need to get out of this through a therapy. The reason why your therapy is special is a very human-centric kind of therapy.
Yes.
You were telling me you sometimes break the rules of traditional therapy into something that allows you to really work heart to heart with the patient. But maybe you want to explain it
describing
better.
it great. You are describing it great. I would just change the word break it. I don't feel I break the rules, but evolve them. Like yesterday, I was talking.
Innovation.
It's innovation. It's totally
Innovation.
innovation. Yesterday, one of my brothers was talking to me about Picasso, how he changed his way of drawing to cubismo, and they were saying how he broke the rules, and I was just making the reflection, like maybe he wasn't not breaking the rules, but just evolving. No, he was a great painter before.
I like that. There's a difference between breaking the rules and evolving and bringing innovation to a situation. It's more that than breaking the rules.
Yeah.
But it's true that sometimes to innovate, you need to break the rules, right? If the feeling of breaking the rules is there.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. It's not.
No,
It's not
let
the.
me tell you. I love. Now a lot of people talk about.
Luis wants to be very far from me, but the
sorry.
problem is we have the Facebook video here, so I need you a little closer. Thank you.
For example, now we listen a lot about going out of your comfort zone, which will be breaking the rules.
Yes.
I much prefer growing the comfort zone, making it bigger. It relaxes me much more.
Yes.
It relaxes much more when I'm working with someone else, when I see them. No, I don't have to break me, or I don't have even to change myself.
Is there something wrong with breaking the rules? I hear like you don't like that word, and I feel like breaking the rules is a brave thing to do. Like I identify it with brave people. That's why I used that word probably. In your case, maybe breaking the rules sounds more like something you shouldn't do.
I mean, that's the rebel point, and it's necessary. It's totally necessary. If the rules are constraining, are against human,
He has such a great English, doesn't he? This is such a great English. I have to point it out, really. This is a radio to learn English when the rules are constraining. Isn't this like a poet speaking on the radio? You are fantastic. So constraining, for people who you don't have an answer with your lovely language. I can't imagine. So constraining. Te comprimen, ¿no? Como son normas que ¿cuál sería la palabra en español?
Constrain, te aprietan,
Eso, te aprietan, que no te deja respirar.
No te dejan,
Constraining.
sí.
So,
te encasillan.
Te encasillan.
Yeah, constraining, and or for example, no, I'm very concerned about the LGBT and women rights. Like, if the rules of a company are constraining the women rights or the LGBT community or any other population which is constrained, of course, we need to fight with that. With compassion. I mean, we can understand the one with whom we are fighting against.
Right.
I mean, we have to fight. We have to make broader rules, rules that accept us, that make it help us.
The rules too, right?
Yeah.
So going back to your therapy, which I was saying that was breaking the rules, and then we decided that was not the right word. We're going to say it's an innovative way of doing therapy, a human-centric, very focused on the patient. Yeah. What do you bring to your therapy that you think is unique to you?
Unique to me? I don't know if it's unique to me. But probably yes, everybody has its own talents, its own way of reading and observing things. No, I do believe that we all have our own light. No, it shines totally different from someone else's light. And of course, that's shining all the time. Maybe it's very difficult to define it. What I think it makes me do a great job in the sense that we both, patient and me, really enjoy it, really make a transformation. First of all, for me, it's the presence, what we were talking. And it's the presence. And let me tell you something about the first part of the conversation. Presence, I don't believe it's learned, but it's allowed.
Okay.
And to
so
allow
presence is not learned, it's allowed.
It's allowed. You allow your presence.
Okay.
Sometimes I normally I do like you, or I go to walk to the park, or I do meditation, or do something to center myself so that I can receive properly to the patient. But sometimes I feel awful. Sometimes I've had a bad day, and even if I do meditation, it doesn't work, or even like that. And what I tell to myself in those cases is like, right, that's you now. So be with you, with the other person, and it works.
Yes.
It works amazingly.
So being present not only with the other person, but with yourself.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
powerful.
That's it.
I like that.
As you are, not as you have to be or as you wish to be.
So don't have like an internal fight.
That's it.
So la lucha interior, no?
Sí.
That we don't want that internal fight. We want to just see what is and go with it.
Yep.
No?
That's
go
it.
Aceptarlo, no?
That's it. That's it. And to allow, you have to work. You have to work. You have to practice. That's it.
So I feel that allowing is something that, what would I say? Again, my masterpiece, I'm going to call you master of peace, is Luis and Simón. But it's true. If there's something that brings you a lot of inner peace, is that concept of allowing yourself to be.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's easy because you're feeling great. So you look at yourself, you're like, oh, I'm awesome. But other times there's something going on inside, and then we want to get rid of it, and we're struggling with it. And then there's this tension inside of you, so that when you interact with others, you're taking that tension to that interaction as well.
Not if you are aware.
Exactly. So how do we contact with that, being aware of who we are right now? You know, like that is, I think we don't do that normally. People don't stop and think, what am I feeling? Oh, I'm having like an internal tension here. I should accept it. What is the best way to connect with that?
To do it with love.
To do it with love. So to love yourself.
Yeah, like start the path. Do your journey. And first of all, first step, do it with love. If you need help, search for help. If you need a friend, call a friend. If you need a therapist, a coach, call them. Find for the best one for you. And then begin the journey.
Yes.
Like, look for the right things, right, how can I say, for the right circumstances to do to the best circumstances. Maybe they are not the perfect ones, but for the best circumstances you can find, so that you can start your journey, because there is a journey. When you take presence, when you confront your own problems, there will be a journey.
Yes. This journey is then where you work with your patients on their journey.
That's it. Yeah.
And I guess that makes your job a very beautiful job, because it's a transformational journey.
Yes.
What is the thing you hear the most when people finish working with you?
One I love, it's me he reconciliado conmigo mismo. I reconciled with myself. I came to peace with me. That's
See, master of peace.
Oh.
I tell you,
okay.
You have to take it. You have to take it. This is you. No, I'm not trying to label you. I'm not trying to label you, but I know, in all honesty, I do think that you transmit a lot of that peace. And you teach us how to connect with that peace. And I've seen you do it. I know that your workshops are amazing. In a very subtle and simple way, people can suddenly realize things and connect with their inner power. And I like that. I think I saw that for the first time in one of your workshops, where you connect with, this show is called The Hour to Empower, right? So let's talk a little bit about how to empower yourself. And I feel that you have a way of finding that power from a very peaceful place.
Mm.
You know, people will think empowering is getting hectic, stand up, run, put that music on, but you slow down and you help us connect with something.
So beautiful, yes. She's empowering me.
Well, we empower each other.
Yes. She's really
There's a lot of
empowering
love
me.
here, you guys. You can notice it, right?
And let me tell you another great piece of therapy, great part of the therapy, which is now Yessica doing it, which is the observer transforms what is observed. And this big sentence,
Wait.
yeah,
The observer
transforms, influences to the observed.
The observed. Okay. Go on.
Which is a great concept, but if we get it concreto, if we go to the specifics, how you are with the patient or with your friend, what do you believe from that person? How you see them. Yessica sees the good in me. I also have the bad. I mean, maybe my
do you wanna
partner
talk about
will.
the bad?
My partner could also say some
some other sides.
some
of
other
me.
sides.
But that's
of me.
because he brings those sides in you. I
Yeah.
don't.
The thing is, Yessica chooses to see the best of the person who's in front of you. You are doing that with me now. That transforms me inevitably. We can go long ago to the anthropologists. No, we see in the movies.
Yes.
Old anthropologists, women
Yes.
and men who went to a tribe to study how they were living. It was impossible. Some of them realized it was impossible that they didn't influence the tribe they were already. They couldn't be 100% neutral.
Right.
They couldn't.
Right.
So if you
Yes.
can't be 100% neutral, enjoy the observing. Make of you the therapist or the coach the best you can be, so that you can observe or a mother or a brother or a couple. Work on that. Practice to allow yourself to receive the best of the person you are relating with.
Right. So you're also doing meditation workshops.
Yeah.
You do them in Madrid, or where is that?
I do it in Madrid. Sometimes, every week we do in Madrid several workshops in another cities in Spain, or if I need to go somewhere else. Yeah, sometimes are big. I do prefer to do small groups. Yeah, like 6 people, something like that, because it helps me be more aware of the people who are participating.
Right.
Yeah.
You can connect with them better if it's a smaller group.
Yeah, but you were also in
It was a huge
300
group.
or 400
Yes.
people.
And it was amazing.
Yeah, it was. So maybe
It's
life
beautiful.
is. Yeah, maybe life is throwing me giving me some challenges, no? So that you can also do that with hundreds of people.
So for those listening who've never been to any of those workshops, can you tell them what they will find there?
In a broad sense, themselves, and
So this is no joking. You find yourself in one of those workshops.
You are with yourself. I mean, you will continuously discover you. No, I think we will die, maybe I hope very old, and when we die, we will still be discovering who we are. I read a study very, very interesting, in which they were observing the nuevas conexiones neuronales, the new neural pathways that were created in the brain. And among the population who was being studied, there was an old man of 80-something, 85, and the next week after the study, he died because of something. It happened to him, maybe I don't know.
Yes.
And what the researcher was amazed was this guy, 85 years old, maybe 86, just 1 week before dying, we could see that he was creating new neural pathways in the brain.
Okay, well, this sounds so interesting. You guys need to check out Luis's website for those workshops. What's your website, Luis, in case they want to connect?
luisdesansimon.com.
luisdesansimon.com. As simple as that, luisdesansimon.com. We're going to go for a break, so don't leave us. We have much more coming up in the second half. Thank you, guys. ¿Estás bien?
Yo estoy bien. ¿Tú? ¿Qué tal?
Muy bien, ¿no?
Estoy tocando mucho las
¿Qué
narices.
queremos hablar? No, me encanta. al revés.
Me está flipando, ¿eh?
¿Estás contento?
Mucho, mucho.
Vale, tenemos 50 temas
¿Ya
más.
hemos hablado
¿Qué
media
te
hora?
apetece? Ya hemos hablado media
Qué
hora.
pena.
¿Qué te parece? Es que va muy rápido.
¡Qué rápido!
Muy rápido.
Lo que te
Neuroplasticity
apetezca.
me molaría,
Esto
¿no?
es neuroplasticity, lo que acabo
Por
de
eso,
decir.
lo conectamos desde ahí.
Sí, déjate es que me está flipando, o sea,
Sí.
sigue la cuerda porque neuroplasticity ya, si te sale a hablar, sí, neuroplasticidad.
Vale. Venga,
Sí,
pues, ¿lo dejamos
neuroplasticidad.
fluir?
¿Hablamos
Para
ya?
nos lleve.
No, seguimos
Una
ya,
cosa,
venga.
Luis, para
Me alejo a
cuando-
veces, ¿no?
Eso es, quédate aquí. Y la otra, luego vamos a leer aquí, ¿vale? Lo vas a leer
The
tú.
known, into the known, into the known, into the known. I can hear,
Pero el
but
O
I
lo puedes
won't.
saltar.
¿Luego puedo qué?
El O no hace falta que lo
Oh.
leas. ¿Vale? Entonces,
hear, but I
eso
won't.
está. A ver, yo intento estar a todo, a Facebook, a la radio.
Y yo no he grabado nada. ¿Cómo?
Pues ahora todavía estás a tiempo, corre.
Pero
ponle
no
ahí.
tengo ni wifi ni nada, se puede.
Bueno, pues
yo
grábalo en un
mal-
vídeo.
En Insta. Ah, vale.
Y luego
Mira.
haces lo que tú quieras.
Mira qué bueno. Es como ves de pueblo total. O sea,
Pero ya hay que grabar de su móvil. Toma, ponlo aquí.
y en Instagram se puede hacer
¿O
un
lo puedes
directo.
poner ahí?
No,
Sí, claro.
Pero
Ah,
no.
pon el
Pongo
directo en
Instagram.
Instagram, claro.
pero ya no lo pierdo el vídeo. O
No.
sea, igual.
Pero cuando terminemos, tú no toques Instagram y yo te lo...
Vale.
A ver, tu historia. Vamos, un segundo. Live. Directo. Ya está.
¿Dónde le
Y ahora
pongo?
lo podríamos... Mira a ver si...
O ahí al lado del tuyo, ¿no?
O aquí. Quizás mejor. A ver. ¿Ahí estamos los dos?
No,
aquí
no se te ve.
estamos los dos. Así.
¿Y por qué no lo pongo ahí, al lado del tuyo?
Porque ese no se ve tan
vale.
bien. Yo creo que este está más chulo, de hecho.
Vale.
¿No te parece?
No-
Hola, gente.
Hello.
Venga,
Vocal
listo,
Radio.
ya estamos. Un momento, porque aquí es verdad que
Y ponlo
está
así,
un
ponlo
poco
así.
más cerca.
Mira.
Bueno, tú juega con eso, que yo voy a hacer el welcome mientras tanto. Ah, mira, muy bien.
Mucho mejor.
There we are. You're so smart. So, cuando tú me digas, ¿ya? Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Hour to Empower. We're here to help you live your best version and your best life every day. If you're liking this show and you want to follow us on Facebook, just look for the Hour to Empower. You'll find us right there. You will have all the videos of the different conversations that go on here and many links related to anything that we talk about. If you want to ask me anything specific or write me privately, you can send me an email to 1hourtoempower@gmail.com. 1hourtoempower@gmail.com. You'll also find me on Instagram at @energía, salud y vida. I love to get your feedback, so please connect to any of those. Facebook, 1 Hour to Empower, or Instagram, @energía, salud y vida. So let's take it from where we left it. We're here with Luis and Simón, who's this amazing psychologist, therapist, peacemaker. I don't know how to call you now anymore. And we were having a fantastic conversation about being present, and we took it to a place where I think the subject now is neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity.
I've heard this a lot, but I don't know why is this so important? Why is neuroplasticity such a big subject in this? When you talk about personal growth, this comes up a lot.
Yeah, I'll give you the basic, more basic and simple definition in Spanish and then in English. Lo nuevo, lo novedoso, lo enriquecedor y la actividad genera nuevas conexiones neuronales.
Mm-hmm.
The enriching and the activity generates new neural pathways.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Why this just abstract definition has to be with therapy or coaching or growing a lot? It has to be a lot. Why?
Has to do.
Has to
It has
do.
a lot to do with this. Yes. Okay. Now, well, I can see. Please go ahead.
Yeah, even go to positive psychology, which, for example, they say try to not only to see the problems of the person, but also the resources of the person. If you focus on the new things that the person is discovering, on the new emotions, if we were talking of presence, if you allow yourself to discover the new emotion that you are discovering, and I'll say to you, emotions are like the sky. If you look at the sky for a whole day, you will not ever see that sky again.
Mm.
So you are if you are present, we are
Yes.
linking it with the other conversation we were having. If you link it with the present, you are continuously enriching yourself.
You're enriching yourself, so you're growing and you're getting new ideas, new concepts into
Yeah.
you that are gonna broaden your neural pathways.
That's what the neuroscience is telling us.
Uh-huh.
That's not just a woo-woo or a magic of present. No, there's a. I mean, if you look at the brain,
Yes.
and you allow the brain to go for the new aspects,
Yes.
no, there are new pathways in your brain. That's amazing.
That is amazing, and I hear that one of the methods that is getting bigger and bigger is meditation.
Yeah, a lot of us are. I'm using it every day in my sessions, not only for me, but with the patients.
Okay.
Yeah, I facilitate them to meditate after. I normally do a 1 hour and a half, 2 hour sessions. It's a long time, but I realized that people with 1 hour or 45 minutes, they were just in the middle of something. So I did my journey to search the best treatment. And in that journey, I found that some professionals had made research. Why professionals should or can stay more time with the patient, and how giving the time that the person requires, not the time that you as a professional think,
Learned.
My time is 45 minutes. Well, maybe your time is 45 minutes, but the patient needs 1 hour and a half just to go through a journey in the session.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I know that you had an experience in the United States, and I'd like to highlight this because Luisa is not one of those conventional students who has only been to university and studied in PhDs, but he's also been searching for learning what he needed to learn, whichever way. So if I need to learn this, I need to find a way to learn it.
Yes.
And if it's not accessible at the university, then I have to find a different way of finding it. And one of the things you did was you wanted to study something specific, and you looked for the pioneer in that, and you contacted him, and he was in California. And then you asked him if you could go and spend time with him to learn his techniques or
processes.
Processes.
Yeah.
That I think this is amazing. This is probably the new way of learning. You know, before we were very much stuck to conventional ways of getting degrees and certificates, so that we would then be able to prove that we did certain things. But I am very much a fan of finding mentors in your life. That person who's a reference for you, who has gone through a very particular journey that may expand yours. And being close to a person like that also maybe gives you that initiative to say, then I can also try to do my own thing, right? What was that experience like?
It was amazing, and you take university. It is important to have a degree, work for it. I teach in the university, and it's a great experience. And you can also, what you're saying, it was, I kind of remember it with a lot of love. No, I wanted to learn more. I had some doubts. There was this guy in California who had been studying with the biggest psychotherapists that we are now that now are still influencing us.
Right, the ones we read.
Yeah, and he had been with all of them,
yeah.
with a lot of them. So I just sent him an email, and it was beautiful the way he answered. It was a very empathetic email, just acknowledging what I was asking him in the email, just asking me, when do you want to come and how long do you want to stay with us, with him and his wife. And it was amazing. Finally, it ended up being like a therapy. They were making, like, I was working on myself.
Well, that's I think this field has that problem that every time you want to study something, you first have to work on yourself.
That's it. I do believe it helps a lot to experience it before in yourself. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. If there's anybody listening out there who has some curiosity, or is maybe not, is a little scared to do what you did, what would you tell that person?
Scary? No. Scary for the wallet? Yes.
Right, because it's like a private tutor for you, so that's
Right.
you're getting this private environment, a one-on-one situation where you're going to spend 15 days or 20 days.
Morning
And every
after.
day you're one-on-one with that person, so count the amount of hours. I mean, in the end,
Yeah.
it's true that it might be very expensive, but I do think that it's a unique experience, irreplaceable.
It is. So it was years ago, and I'm still, and I think I will evolve from that a lot. It gave me resources to observe myself from a beautiful place, from a challenging place, from a courage place.
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
So, what would you tell someone who says, I have someone I would really like to learn from, but I don't want to write him because he's going to say no?
I'd say first, listen to your gut. Is it the right person?
Listen to your gut, tu intuición.
Tu
Lo que
intuición,
te
tu
diga tu
estómago.
intuición, tu estómago.
Mhm.
Si tienes hambre, come primero.
Yeah. Yeah, listen to it. Maybe it's not the right person. If you feel it's the right person, go and explore. Maybe you go and you find it's not the right person.
Right.
And if it's the person you want to share with, it's important who you share your feelings, your intimate world to. That's not for everybody.
Right.
So if those people are the right ones for you, go ahead.
Right.
Make the journey. Trust them. Spend your money. Like make your investment on that.
So we've been talking at the beginning of the show about the importance of being present. We've been talking about gratitude, compassion.
Yeah.
You talk a lot about that feeling of love. Somehow,
Yes.
many times when you tell a story, you bring back that feeling of love. How much of that do you work on during your sessions?
It's a very big part of the session. I do believe, and not only from a belief perspective, but science is now talking about it, on the heart intelligence. There is a heart intelligence.
Heart intelligence. Okay, I love this. What is heart intelligence? Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Just if you connect with yourself, with your body. I don't know, maybe you have a dog, maybe you have a pet, maybe you love to walk in the countryside, maybe you love to be with your friends. Just go to some of those memories and allow yourself to feel your body. Just a sec, just to observe your body. Where are you feeling the feelings, the great feelings you are feeling them?
Oh, can we do the exercise one more time? Just now, live? Can we do this?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay.
You even do it during your day. Everybody.
I'm doing it right now because I'm loving where I am. So
Yeah,
this is my experience.
That's a great thing.
Sorry. Go ahead. Let's share it with the people.
That's
So
it.
let's help people connect with this because this is big. This is heart intelligence.
It's heart intelligence.
Lovely. Go
Yes.
ahead.
And it's the best driver we can have, in my opinion.
The best driver, el motivador, ¿no? ¿Sería? ¿Cuál
The
sería
best,
la palabra?
el mejor conductor.
Conductor,
yeah.
eso.
But yes, driver, lo que nos motiva,
Lo que nos
el que
dirige.
lleva. So
Okay.
just maybe you can just sit down or stand up or just stay where you are. I mean, you have a lot of memories. You have a lot of great experiences. They don't have to be big experiences, like a great trip. For example, for me, just walking in the street and when I see the leaves falling from a tree, it creates that, just allowing myself to observe that aspect. It helps me bring that wonder in my heart. It helps. But just go and find your own experiences. Maybe it's the coffee in the morning.
Yes, for me it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is the coffee in the morning. I always like that's a very special moment for me to start the day. Probably. It
Yeah.
connects me with this easy feeling.
Yes.
Is that what I'm looking for?
Yeah. Even your hand is
Yeah, my
touching your
heart.
heart. That's the thing.
True.
That's the thing.
This feeling of life is much simpler than I thought. You know, when I drink the coffee, it's that feeling of
Yes.
it's all nice and it's good.
Yeah. Or someone else can say it's when I walk to
when
my job, or it's when I relax in the afternoon, when I come back and I lay in the sofa, or when I'm starting in the gym. I don't know, whatever is your heart experience. We all have those ones.
And you have that with people too, right? There's certain people that you hear their voice or you talk to them and it brings you to that feeling, maybe.
Yes. My experience, for example, in therapy, it's like this heart intelligence. As I allow myself to to have an encounter with that other person, in this case the patient or the client,
Yes.
that spontaneously awakes that heart intelligence.
Yes.
That's why at the beginning I was telling you it's more about allowing than learning. We all have these resources, of course. You need to give them attention. You need to allow them to practice that.
So, when we talked about this show, we decided that one of the subjects that we really liked was uncertainty, right?
Yeah.
And that was going to be like in our heads while we talk, so that would always end up there. Now, having had this whole beautiful conversation, talking about heart intelligence and compassion, love, gratitude, presence, how is this then linked to uncertainty?
Uncertainty, it's mystery. No, I recently went to see Frozen 2 to the cinema. I loved it.
I have to watch it. I haven't watched it.
I recommend it. I loved it. And when I saw it when I went to see the movie, it was in English language, and then I heard with my nephews the music in Spanish, and the translation for unknown. In one of the songs which we will read at the end of this session, they talk about the unknown.
The unknown.
Yeah. When they translated to English in that same song, they translated it as más allá, ir más allá, which I hadn't think in that perspective. No, when I think in unknown, I think about it as mystery, uncertainty, not knowing.
Incertidumbre.
Yeah, incertidumbre. That's it. And I really loved the way it was translated wrongly, because it's not there.
Not a literal translation.
Yes, but it's beautiful because that's what the unknown gives
really
us.
Is,
it allows us to
go further.
Yeah.
To go further into the unknown. I think that's the power of looking at uncertainty, not from a place of fear, but from a place of curiosity.
Yes, of wonder.
Of wonder.
Yep.
See, the thing with this, I always try to put it into words. It's difficult for me. Help me here. When we talk about fear, many times it's because we don't know what's going to happen, and we don't trust that we are able to manage whatever is going to happen, that we already assume is going to be difficult, right? So we see this whole black picture in front of us when we think of uncertainty. Whereas there's another way of looking at uncertainty, which is not a black picture, but actually a very white picture, which is like a white page. We don't know where it's going to take us, and it might take us to something much better than where we are today. But we have to connect with this feeling of love, presence, compassion, and gratitude and acceptance to understand that unknown may be actually much better than the known. But we don't see that if we're in a place of fear.
You see, like if you see an adolescent growing, or a kid in school, a teenager, or a kid, like sometimes if they go to if they are having their education at school, sometimes, unfortunately, maybe fathers or teachers, sometimes happens the opposite. So I'm so glad that happens the opposite. Where can I go? What I want to say, it's like a lot of times.
Sometimes we start thinking in his head, and he wants to put it all in one word, and then we need to come back.
Yes. I'm talking about the burden we give ourselves when we ask ourselves for certainty.
The burden.
Yeah.
Certainty can be a burden.
Yeah.
It is a burden.
It is a burden if a kid comes.
Burden, what's the burden in Spanish?
Burden, un peso.
Un peso.
Una cruz.
Una cruz. A burden is una cruz.
Sí.
Yes.
It's like
So, la certeza puede ser una cruz.
It can be. Like,
certainty can
yeah,
be a burden.
Yeah. If you don't, the other day, my mom, Jess knows my mom. She's an amazing woman.
Amazing.
Amazing
Love
woman.
you. Shout out to Anna.
Yeah. and she was talking. I think this is gonna explain what I want to say. The other day, she was amazingly talking about motherhood, and she was saying the next thing, which is this. She was telling that when you have a kid at the beginning, you are young, and she says sometimes some people think because they are having a child, there is already a book written in themselves who is telling them what they have to do. When
okay, wait, not so fast. So she says people, when they have children, they think that the child comes with a book that tells them how to be a parent, what they need to do, what the next steps are, right? And then
when her experience, what she was telling me is that it's all the opposite. You don't have a clue.
You don't have
a clue. And it's so wonderful that you don't have a clue.
Right.
Because that's the attitude that's going to make you present. If you don't know what your kid is saying, you will work to understand what he's saying or what she's saying.
So this is a way of letting go of control, right?
Yeah, of unhealthy control.
Yes,
it's
of thinking life has to be a certain way.
Certainty. That's certainty.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I feel many times, especially with things like, for example, customs in a culture. People are used to thinking, for example, I'm going to pick up Latin America, I'm in Colombia or in Venezuela, and girls should get married before 25, and they should have kids by that time too. So they're extremely frustrated when they're 26, they still didn't get married, they still don't have children, and they have this idea in their mind that is the way life should be, and life is like totally against them because this is not happening. Or they can't have kids. Things like that are also very interesting to see to what extent we control in our lives and to what extent we let life be. And we are here with life right now and not with the future or the past of what we want the life to be, right?
We continuously make certainties. And it's great, we need to understand. You were talking before about understanding. We want to understand, and we have the right to understand.
Yes.
But if when you are dealing with the unknown, you just want certainty, you will not do the journey.
Yes.
And let me tell you...
Okay, wait, because this is interesting. So we talk about understanding versus certainty.
Yeah.
And then being able to open to the unknown.
Yes.
How do we connect that?
It's the unknown. If we go through it. If we go through it,
the journey of the unknown, right?
Yeah, it's la sombra,
experiencing
the shadow. We need to go through the shadow. I mean, we need to go through the shadow. You were talking before about fear. I don't know the reasons of fear. I think everybody has different reasons. I like to see the fear of fear. I think that's the worst fear.
Yes.
Having fear of fear.
Yes.
I mean, it's normal that you are fear. It's normal that you I mean, sometimes you don't understand, and the uncertainty, when we go through uncertainty, we go through the unknown.
Fear, so true. That is so real.
Yes. And I want to add something for the story I was telling about my mom, which is, there isn't a book, but there is the potentiality. Like, another one of my brothers took me to visit a beautiful forest. And we went to see some pine trees, very old and huge pine trees. And he took a piñón. I don't remember the word. A pine, probably a pine in piñón. He showed me that, and he told me, Luis, that tree is in here.
Right.
All the potentiality of that tree,
the seed is right there.
And all the potentiality is there. So not having the book is not something we need to worry about. We need to be really scared. It's like, try to know yourself. Live your life as a journey. Discover yourself. It's more about that.
So, Luis, we're coming towards an end, and I would like you to give our audience a little moment to empower themselves, like I've seen you do before.
Okay.
Before that, can we get your contact details? If people want to go to therapy or do one of your workshops, where do we find you?
The best way for me is contacting by phone.
By phone.
Yes, I'm the
Okay.
old
And
style,
where do we
old
find
way.
your phone number?
Where do you find my phone? You can find it in my website, which is like my name, luisdesansimon.com.
luisdesansimon.com.
Sí, bueno, www.luisdesansimon.com.
luisdesansimon.com.
Sí. You can also find me in Instagram.
Instagram, ¿cómo es tu Instagram?
Luis de San Simón.
Luis de San Simón, @Luis de San Simón. And if you want to look for him up on the website, www.luisdesansimon.com.
Sí.
Is there an email that people could send you, maybe?
Yeah, but
You don't want to email. Call him.
I mean, for me, calling me, if I'm working, I will not answer. I will answer later.
Okay.
That's the best.
Okay.
Also, LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Luis de San Simón. You'll find him on
Yes.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, I do look the messages also. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you have it.
Okay. So let's do the exercise. We have 1 minute left, so we need like 30 seconds because we're going off with a song.
1 minute. Okay.
Less than a minute.
You guys, I'll make you just a question. What are you grateful right now, at this particular moment?
What are you grateful for right now?
Yeah. Let your mind search for several answers. What are you grateful for? Who are you grateful to? And where are you feeling that feeling?
Okay, we got it.
Enjoy it.
Okay, I think I got it. Well, let's read the song. Luis wants to end the show with the song from Frozen 2 because he liked this idea of into the unknown. And it's from Panic at the Disco. Go ahead and read it, Luis.
Okay. Into the unknown, into the unknown, into the unknown. I can hear you, but I won't. Some look for trouble while others don't. There's 1,000 reasons I should go about my day and ignore your whispers, which I wish would go away.
There we go, you guys. Go into the unknown. Enjoy it. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you, Luis.
¿Qué tal? Súper corto.
Se hace cortísimo.
Cortísimo.
Se hace cortísimo. Ya te lo digo yo. A ver. Adiós.
Ciao.
Hope you enjoyed it.